Hey, sports fans. This is Robert with WTP Sports Dudes. Welcome to another edition of WTP Sports Dudes. I wanted to jump on and hopefully I have some guests coming on here in a little bit. I'm very grateful and thankful to be able to get on tonight after trying to get on yesterday with a live stream. It didn't go as planned, but we were able to work out the kinks. So we're here live tonight. So hopefully we'll get some guests on this evening so that we can talk a little bit of college football or whatever the guests might have on their minds. I wanted to talk about something real interesting before I get started with the guests. And I've been corresponding with a very good friend of mine, a very good contact, and he knows a lot about the ins and outs of college recruiting, college sports, the whole 9 yards. And he was sharing some information with me that, a lot of times we think we know all the inside scoop on what takes place with all of these athletes getting recruited and things like that. But we really don't have any idea about how diabolical and how behind the scenes this stuff be, man. It is crazy. And man, I was blown away by just the information that he was giving me. And I'll probably share it at a later time where bits and pieces here and there. But, it just blew my mind to hear some of that information that was being given to me. What's up, Kit? Everything good with you, fam? It's good to see that you on the live stream. I'm waiting on a couple of people to jump on real quick. So we can get started. What's up, Mossberg?
How's it going, Mr. Brown? How's it going?
Oh, it's
Salute,
going real
salute.
good. Good to
Appreciate you
see you.
having me.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we're going to get started real quick, Mossberg, and then we'll be able to talk about Florida State Seminoles and how you think their season is going to go this season and some of the teams that you think are going to be some teams that can give y'all some competition in the ACC.
Definitely, definitely.
Cool. So, like I was saying earlier, I was getting this information from this contact, and he was just blowing my mind with the information that he was giving me. So I gotta gather my thoughts on it before I share it with the public. Um, but it was just mind blowing. So I just wanted to let y'all know that first and foremost. Now that we're getting started, so my man Mossberg, thanks for joining WTP Sports Dudes. Let
You're
me ask
welcome.
you a question real quick. The Florida State Seminoles, how did you feel about the end of their season last year and how that went down with them not making it to the college football playoff?
It was tough as a fan. I grew up watching the Seminoles, and to see our season end in the way it ended, it was tough. I didn't want to watch college football. Almost didn't want to watch no football at all. Um, I felt like it was a bit biased. I mean, due to us not having our quarterback, I understand, but with a defense wins championships, and I feel that we had the top defense out of the top, teams that was trying to position for that spot. And if we had the chance, I feel we would have came on top. Defense wins, and those were my thoughts.
In earlier videos, I mentioned the same thing too. I really felt like they got done wrong. And just because their quarterback went down, they still won a few games without him being there because their
Yes,
defense was so good that I was
yes,
like, man, they earned every right to be able to play in the college football playoffs. But when I seen that they put Texas at 3, I said, oh, they playing Florida State because there was
yeah.
no way that Texas should have been 3 and Florida State not had been 3. But when I seen that they weren't, I knew that they weren't. They probably wasn't getting in to the thing. And I
Yeah.
agree, Kip. Yeah, with you, they got done wrong, bro. They got done wrong.
It
Let
was
me
it
ask
was
you this.
tough.
Yeah, I bet. Let me ask you this, Mossberg. So you're coming into 2024, a 12-team playoff. Do you think that y'all have what it takes to get to this 12-team playoff in the ACC?
I feel we definitely have what it takes. Even though we lost 13 players, 10 to the NFL draft, 13 of them all are NFL uniform playing this year coming. I feel like our defense, with our defensive tackles, um, two of the top defensive tackles in the nation. I feel like with that, our linebackers coming in and stepping in and just elevating their game even through the summer and the spring to the transfer being very good to us as of late. And with those additions, as well as cornerback on the backside of the ball, we have Jones. We have quite the trio back there. They're young, but I feel that they'll be a big part of the success. And if you put us in that playoff, man, you kept us out last year, so I feel like we have an edge to get there and do some things. Definitely.
I believe so too. I definitely had them as one of my top teams in the ACC. I really want to see how it's going to come down between them and Miami because I really don't think Clemson has enough to beat either one of those teams. So I'm anxious to see how it turns out between them and Miami. But outside of Miami and Clemson, who else do you think in the ACC might be a sleeper in that conference?
I feel that Duke is definitely one of the top sleepers, my opinion. Georgia Tech, we played them this Saturday. Speaking of opening week, we played them this Saturday. They give us a run for our money year in, year out. I know the last time didn't fare out too well on their end, but I'm always looking for Georgia Tech to give us a run for our money. But I say Duke. Duke is definitely the sleeper team that I have in my bag, and always got an eye for them because you just don't know what you're gonna get out of them. Miami definitely is making some noise, and they're a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. What players on your team should you uh can you let us know that you're looking forward to seeing them having big seasons this year?
I'm looking forward to Benson and to Foley. To Foley, definitely to be big years on the offensive side of the ball. I'm looking to see what our transfer quarterback, what he's really skilled about. I've watched quite a bit of footage on him. I like the addition, and definitely on the defensive side of the ball, we have those ends, Thomas, and I forget the opposite end of his name, Jackson and Farmer. Jackson and Farmer, I think they'll be a load to handle on that defensive side of the ball, and with everybody rallying around now, we have Nichols at linebacker as well. I think it'll be a defense that will definitely make some noise along with those offensive additions. And we have a freshman receiver. If don't no one know about him, you'll know about him by week 3. They'll be definitely talking about him. I'm gonna keep his name on the quiet side, but I definitely like this freshman talent that we have adding to us.
That's good. That's good. So now that we talking about the ACC, what do you think about Clemson and the fact that Dabo Swinney really doesn't use the transfer portal when he has all these other teams in the ACC who use the transfer portal because it's a tool that you have to be able to use to fill voids on your team. What's your thoughts on Dabo Swinney not using people out of the portal?
I am totally shocked by that. I was looking at transfer portal about a month ago actually, and just surprised. Dabo is one of the greatest recruiters I feel in the game of college football. He does a great job with that, and I'm totally surprised and shocked that he has not dabbled within that transfer portal. And to me, I would say Dabo, go hit that portal. It's worth it. I've Johnson, for example, for us, big addition we had, and without him, we got Jared Verse. We had quite a few players from that portal. I feel that made our defense and got the swagger back in Florida State, and I feel it could do the same for Clemson.
That Jared Verse hurt me, man, because Texas was in the running for Jared Verse, man. And we needed defensive end help
Definitely.
bad that year. And I'm sitting there like, come on, man, we need Verse. And he ended up picking Florida State and balled out. I
My
was Oh man.
My fingers was crossed for him, and I don't know. It was like getting Peter Boulware. It reminded me exactly of them days, man. Peter Boulware on the defensive side. Even had thoughts of Brooks from back in the day. Having an end like Jared Verse, and I feel like I said those additions we have this year, it's a lot lost when it comes to Jared Verse. You can't replace him. It's just a player you can't replace, but you can learn and add to your game and be just as good as him coming years.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you on that. So I know you watch college football a lot, and you into sports and all that. What do you think about the Big Ten and the new additions that they got from the Pac-12?
I don't know, man. That Big Ten is different. I can say it just like that. It's different. You add Oregon, you add I think USC, I think Arizona. It's a couple more teams they added, and I'm just like, wow. That definitely makes college football to watch even more when you got universities like that just coming to the city itself. I know I'm definitely excited to watch football, even possibly tailgate. I'm not a Buckeye fan, but I definitely will probably be down to get a couple tailgates in just to see the atmosphere changing throughout the city. And I think it's good for college football and the Big Ten conference as well.
Yeah, I do too. Um, when the Pac-12 disseminated, man, I really didn't believe that it was going to disseminate the way it did because at one point they were trying to get Texas to come over
To come to
to
the
the
Pac-12.
Pac-12, and I was like, what? You know, if
Yeah,
that was to happen, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's no more Pac-12. But then you got the Big 12 still existing, and I'm like, how is that even possible? You would have thought that the
you would
Big 12 would have disseminated long before the Pac-12.
correct,
But
correct,
you
correct.
know that ain't how it worked out. And some
It's
of those teams from the Pac-12 end up going to the Big 12, and I'm sitting there like, wow,
Yeah, definitely. And it's been talks of Florida State even joining the Big Ten. I would love it. Me personally, as a fan of football, I would love it.
yeah, I could see Florida State going that way because I know for a fact they want to get out of the ACC. Most of those teams want to get out of
Definitely.
the ACC. I think they signed that contract, and it's just not a good contract. But until they can get out of it, they're stuck
Mhm.
with it for now.
Yeah,
Let me ask you
definitely.
this though: what do you think about the SEC and that conference that they have now that they've added Texas and Oklahoma?
The SEC, I feel like no, I feel like the Big Ten is a great conference, but you add Texas, you add Oklahoma. That's a that's a rivalry in itself coming to a total conference that was already, I feel, established as the best conference in football year in, year out, regardless of other conferences. So, me, SEC is the top conference in football. I have to put Big Ten behind them because Texas, you bring in a passing attack, you bring in defensive on both ends. And I think the smash mouth football that Texas bring, it put some extra into that SEC. It'll put some extra prowess, a lot more football to see and football to watch. So tune in to the SEC, in other words, this year, because it'll definitely be some good football.
Definitely, definitely. Now, I want to ask you a question about your brother Gerald because I didn't know Gerald was a Oregon fan. Do y'all go back and forth talking trash?
We've been in our group text since the end of the year. We have a group text with me and my brothers. It's Notre Dame, Ohio State, Oregon, and Florida State. So that alone in a group text, that's a lot. And he's definitely been talking his stuff about Oregon, and he have every bit. Man, they're locked in, they're loaded. Um, this is the year that I've actually, when I seen them in the standings and seeing that they actually put them behind Ohio State, I said this is something, man. And he's been going 24/7 about the uniform. Every uniform reveal, he's hitting us in a text, no matter what time it is. Every 4 star they pick up, every transfer, you name it, he's definitely tapping in the text and letting us know. And he said he definitely want to be a part of the show as well and talk his Oregon stuff.
Right, right. Let me ask you this, Mossberg. Who do you think are going to be the four conference champions in the four Power Four conferences?
Um, the Big Ten is tough. The SEC is even tougher. I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna take this one on the chin. I've been watching the SEC for the last few years. I'm gonna take Texas. I'm gonna take your Texas Longhorns, even with the injuries, because I feel that it's their time. They're due for it. They've been going through the injuries. I'm gonna take Oregon or Ohio State. I can't leave either or out. I would say it's a jump up between those two. I'm gonna take my Seminoles, and the reason I'm gonna take my Seminoles is because I feel like when it comes to that battle of the Florida, I feel like we got it. We've been definitely showing that skill these last few years and taking over that leverage. The other conference, that's I'm gonna just give it a jump ball. Every team is you really don't know in that conference. Every team is good, and the SEC, I'm definitely going Texas. I'm definitely going Florida State ACC, and Big Ten is going to be a toss up between Oregon and Ohio State. I'm not putting Michigan in there. I feel like they got a lot that they have to deal with, and in the years to come, we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, yeah, I can ride with what you said. And you know what? That Big 12 is really a toss up because they got the most parity of any
Any
conference,
conference,
because a lot of their teams, even though they're not upper echelon like your Ohio States, your Florida States, your Texas, your Georgias, your Michigans, they have parity with Utah,
yes,
Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Iowa State. They got crazy parity where
and
all
they
of those teams can beat each other.
yeah, and their numbers is the offensive side of the ball. One week, one team is scoring 20, then the following week they're scoring 60. So you just don't know with that Big 12. They put up offensive numbers, and I guess it'll be who scores last, like them years with Crabtree when the points was defense was out the window. It was all about the points on the board.
Yeah, yeah. And Kip saying what we dealing with. I mean, if you're talking about Michigan and the Big Ten, yeah, they dealing with a lot. They're dealing with a lot because that Big Ten, it has a parity at the top. Now, of course, you got your Michigans, you got your Ohio States, you got your Penn States, you got your Oregons. I don't know how well USC is going to be this year. If they don't get their defense together, they're going to get trampled on in that Big Ten.
Trampled on in that Big Ten, man. That Big Ten
Yeah,
is loaded with speed, seniors. I mean, you name it, man. That Big Ten is loaded.
yeah, they sure are. So I'm anxious to see how it's all going to turn out. Let me ask you this, Bossberg. What you been doing with your spare time? Whenever you're not watching college ball or you're not working.
Whenever I'm not watching college ball or working, I've actually started to put together a basketball team. I just been looking to get back and doing things differently, giving back. It's good that you asked that because I've been doing a lot of research, mind searching myself over the years of what I've accomplished, just different things with kids, working, learning a lot from you guys. Definitely you watching me grow up. So just taking the time to right now work on a basketball team, and I'm definitely looking to get a team starting next fall. I mean next spring actually, when the weather break. I want to try to get a team together, 3-on-3, to where we go into different tournaments around Ohio, give back that way, and start there and let go and let the journey begin. Because I feel like with the years and talent and me still personally playing to this day, why not take the skill that I have and give it to another kid and watch them be successful as well?
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'm glad somebody gonna pick up the torch where we left off at, cause man, I'm at that age now where I'm like, hey, trying to coach no more kids, man. I done it too long.
Hey, I got you, man. And whenever you need it, I got you. I got time for you.
I appreciate it. How's the family doing, Mossberg?
Family's been doing pretty good. Brothers, sisters, we stay in a group text as well as our mom and dad on a daily basis. I would say it's been kind of here and there, thinking about things in the last few years. Definitely the last year with the loss of my nephew. Um, just been really taking life on an everyday basis on just understanding life, people, seeing things in the eyes of God at times. Sorry to mention it in that type of way so fast, but just seeing things in a different eye set. And definitely, once you came to me about the show, I was like, what better way to be on someone's show than Mr. Brown's? I would love to get on and talk to you, and you be the person to get my basketball story out. Whenever we had a chance to sit down and discuss that, I would love for you to be the author of that story and getting that out, because I feel like a lot of kids in our inner city, especially our neighborhood where we grew up, could use someone that they seen and even looked up to at that time, and even still to this day, to see things differently. And you never know, may save lives in a different light that we may not see today.
You know, Joe, I would definitely get that story out, bro. And I would have it'll be my honor to be able to do that story for you. So whenever we can put it together and we got the time and we can put the whole story out there, I'm definitely willing to do that. Definitely.
But
Kip
just
Lewis,
shot with him.
I'm gonna send you a link, Kip, so you can jump on this live stream because I want to hear what you got to say about that Michigan Wolverine. So check your DM in your messenger on Facebook, and then come in live. But you're gonna have to turn down your YouTube so that you can so we don't have no background noise.
Also, I know we talking college football. I mean to interrupt.
Oh no,
If
you
you
good.
can, I've also in my spare time I have picked up a little gaming over the years, and if you haven't heard, um, I've connected on the 2K circuit with a kid who was at South Florida playing college football. Senior season, he's at Colorado with prime time now. He's been there. This is second year. Jimmy Horn Jr.
Oh, okay, okay.
Great talent, man. And just talked with him yesterday. He's looking forward to the season. If you get a chance, jump on YouTube. He's all over there with a lot of stuff they got going in Colorado. But keep your eyes out for him. Special talent. Kind of remind me of growing up in the neighborhood, kids and how they are, and just seeing them elevating at a different level. Just wanted to shout out to Jimmy Horn Jr.
Cool, cool. I'm glad that you had that connect like that with Jimmy Horn Jr. You know, we had a young man who went to Windsor actually, and he played for Cincinnati last year, but he's at UCF now. Byron Three plays safety for
Yep,
he
yep.
plays safety for Cincinnati now. He plays for UCF.
I have to
So
check him out.
I've been checking him out too, and just to see him come from where he came from to now he's playing big time college football, man, is amazing. And then
Oh yeah,
another kid who went to Windsor, he's committed to bowling to Boston College. So he's a senior
ACC.
at Reynoldsburg this year, but he's going to be going to Boston College next year, and he's going to be playing ball for them. Plays cornerback and punt return and wide receiver for Reynoldsburg. So he's going to come on
Definitely.
the show, and I'm going to get to talk to him. And I don't know if you remember Deuce that played for Lyndon McKinley 2 years ago, played for Warner Ridge last year.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. So I'm connecting with his family so I can get him on the show as well.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
great. That's great. That's great.
that's cool, man. Just to be able to see them doing what they do. What's your thoughts on your boy Tarhan that you played high school basketball with, coach in Northland?
Man, shout out to Tyhan. It's a lot of people don't know, man. Like I talk to him year in, year out. We still have the brotherhood. Of course, we played together in high school. He's just building a dynasty over there, man. He's just hard work. I just spoke with him a couple of weeks ago at the summer league we play in, and he's just continuing to grind and give back in a way. And that's something that inspired me to look at things over the past year and just take a step back and look at a way that I could be effective. And just seeing him thrive and bring others in with him. Another teammate of mine, Cyrus Smith, bringing those guys in with him to get that system that they have going at Northland. And I feel titles to come is the only thing that's going to be in his path, man. City League titles, I know they dealt with a lot last year with the craziness in the scheduling. I
Yeah,
just hope nothing like that happens again, but things like that happen, and it's out of our control. But he's definitely doing a great thing over there at Northland High School.
yeah. I like seeing him too, man. He has probably the best player in the in the city with King.
Yes, King.
So I'm
Yes,
like, I mean, this he ambidextrous too. I mean, this he can go. He just
yeah.
flat out go.
He's a talent, man. And I was just speaking with a guy in the barbershop the other day, and we was talking about a way to get awards to kids throughout the city, and not just we noticed they do, the weekly scholarship awards and things like that throughout the city. And he just said we need to find a way to give back to the kids, just a little trophy, every week or every other week, just a way to get back. So, the last few months it's just been a lot of different talks, and I feel like, it's just ways of centered around basketball. And, with the thought of me wanting to give back and do things, I feel it's no better way but to open up a little more. And I think, like we talked about a few minutes, getting the story out there, things like that, are definitely be projected for everything coming for this neighborhood in South London as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because we have a lot of stuff that's going on negative in the South Linden area and the North Linden area for that. Um, so it's just good that we see that and we know that a change has to take place and we willing to dive in there and make that change in the
Yes,
area
yes,
where we grew up and we spent really all of our lives because many of us are still in those same areas working and grinding and trying to make that area a better place um,
yes.
before it gets gentrified.
Man, appreciate you for. It's crazy. Me and Murph was just asking. Murph said, "Man, do Mr. Brown still ball?" I said, "He still got it." I said, "It might only take a couple weeks to get him out there in the gym, but he still got it, man." It just we appreciate you for all the years that you've put in, and you still there, man. And I feel like with you there, that keeps that concrete together, and it gives us the opportunity to see the possibilities to come, to speak these words and look to further ourselves in doing these things. So I'm definitely, like I said, I'm just appreciated to be here having this time with you today.
Yeah, I appreciate you giving me that head, because I'm like, man, sometimes when you put in that kind of work, you don't do it for people to pat you on the back and stuff, but at the same time, you do want people to recognize that you're actually doing something,
Oh,
and
I
I
see it,
appreciate
man.
that. I
We
appreciate
see it.
that.
I know I do, man. If shout out to Mr. Brown. If y'all watching this live, man, give Mr. Brown his flowers on here, man. Y'all gotta drop him. He's been a brother, uncle, dad at times, man. I I can go on and on, man. He's definitely there for a reason.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Branham. Turhan is doing more than just coaching basketball, bro. He's really teaching them how to be men, old
Mm,
school. He got those guys, man. Listen, he got those guys on the right track,
on
and
the
I
right track.
appreciate the
Yeah.
fact that he stepped in to do that. Because when I first heard he was coaching, I was like, really? I didn't even know that the city would even let guys like us even get in there to coach, man. And now you see almost all the city league teams have somebody of his caliber from his experience and background and upbringing and all that coaching in the city league. And I was just
Right.
shocked to see that, man. And I didn't expect to see that. But when I started seeing it and I started seeing all these other coaches, like him doing it, I was like, wow, that's good. I'm glad I was too old to be trying to get out there, but I was glad to see those young men getting out there coaching and doing their thing. So
He
I
had
agree
a
with you,
vision,
John. He's definitely doing more than just coaching basketball. That's for sure.
making men out of them young men, and That's the one thing he talked about is just touching them in another light of life outside of basketball. Basketball is the tool to bring them in, and when you have them in, you reel them in with that basketball. It's more that you could do with those children, those young men, and you just you could just mold them into something that you don't see at that day, but 10 years down the road, you see them graduating and going to college and having their families. I know that's something he can't wait to see, man. Definitely.
That's good. That's good. Well, Joe, I'm glad you was able to make it on, bro. I appreciate you taking the time out your busy schedule to come on and
Appreciate
talk
you.
sports and life and all that good stuff with us. So, with nothing else being said, I appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you as well. I
All
definitely be
right.
getting with you. All right.
Okay, definitely. Appreciate you. Wow, that was a powerful session right there. I'm glad that Joe was able to get on. I thought I was going to get another guest on, but he was having some technical difficulties. We might get another one that might jump on here in a little bit, but if not, that's cool too. I'm glad that was able to get Joe on. He's been trying to get on for a couple of weeks, and our schedules just weren't able to merge so that he could do so. So I'm glad that he was able to get on today, talk a little bit of sports with us, talk about Florida State and what he expects to see in that college football playoff. I didn't know that a non-power four school or a group of five school could actually get in the 12 team playoff, but I guess I ain't 100% for sure. So if anybody in the chat knows, please correct me. But they got an automatic spot as well as the fifth conference champion. Since there's only four Power Four conference champs, they got a fifth slot that's slotted for somebody from the group of five. Is that correct? I don't know. I was trying to read up on it today, and it did say that they guarantee that a group of five team will get in the college football playoffs. But I didn't know that they had an automatic spot. So if I'm wrong, please correct me, because I really don't know. Like I said, I was reading up on it, but I wasn't sure. But I was watching the Klatt show with Joe Klatt. I think that's his first name, Joe. And he was saying that, he was giving his predictions on who he thought would make it into the 12 team college football playoff. And he mentioned Boise State. And he gave Boise State the 12th slot in his prediction. So maybe a group of five team does automatically get in since there's no more Power Five schools. There's only Power Four now. Now that there's no more Pac-12. So I'm interested to find out for sure if that is actual facts. So earlier today, I was watching another sports YouTube channel, and I was watching an interview with Kwame Caville. So if you're not familiar with Kwame Caville, he was a wide receiver for Texas back in the early 2000s. So back when they had Major Applewhite, 98, 99, 98, 99, 2000, in that area, right? So Kwame Caville came to Texas as a linebacker. But since they had so many injuries, they moved into wide receiver. So, of course, when he first started playing wide receiver, first couple of games, he had some drops. But, the coach stuck with him. And then, of course, they ended up getting Mac Brown the following year. And so Kwame Caville, playing this wide receiver position, ended up setting Texas's record for most receptions in the season. So, they was interviewing him. They was asking him all these questions like, what what kind of conversations he would have with DBs when they would be out there guarding him and stuff like that. And at this time, Ricky Williams was playing with Texas, right? So he said he would go out there, and whenever he knew it was a play that Ricky Williams was going to be running, he would go out there to the defensive back and say, listen, you can either sit out here and dance with me, or you can try to tackle this guy that's coming but it's on you. You making a life or death decision here. So you can dance out here and act like I'm blocking you, or you can go and try to tackle this dude that's about to come. And he said, the guys would be like, they gonna make this tackle, right? And they would make that one tackle, and Ricky Williams would plow him. And the next time he go out there, and he'd be like, listen, he coming again. Now you can either dance out here with me, or you can take it again. And he said after a while, the cornerbacks wouldn't even try to tackle Ricky Williams because he would come out there and punish him. I thought that was a pretty funny story. And then he's told another story about Nebraska. Now, y'all know Nebraska at one time had the longest home winning streak in college football. And of course, Texas at that time, when Kwame Cavill played, ended up breaking that streak. And he said after the game, he thought for sure that the Nebraska fans were going to be heated and that they were going to be fussing and cussing and throwing all kinds of obscenities out of their mouth at them for beating them. But he said when they were going into the tunnel, the Nebraska fans were the most polite fans they ever come across ever in their life, thanking them for coming and all this other stuff and playing a good game and all this stuff. And he was thinking for sure they was going to be throwing bricks and bottles and stuff at him, but they didn't. And he said, man, those are some of the greatest fans to ever, you ever go in their state and they're going to treat you so well. And I was like, wow, Nebraska, really? The way they used to beat up on people, you would think that their fans would be beating up on some folks too. But he said that wasn't the case. They were very, very nice. And I've heard that before, but to hear him say it because he experienced it really made me think like, well, that must have been a true story about those Nebraska fans. So we've been going for about almost 40 minutes now. And if I'm not going to get any more guests in, we're probably going to wrap up this video. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in. We're trying to grow this channel as much as we can. We're trying to get as many subscribers as possible. We're trying to get as many likes, as many shares as possible so that we can grow this channel, so that we can continue to bring good content, so we can get better equipment, we can get better at what we're trying to do here at WTP Sports Dudes. So I appreciate you all for tuning in today. And if you get a chance, please share this video. Please hit the like button. Please ask your friends and family members to subscribe so we can try to get up to 200 subscribers by the end of this week. So with that being said, since I ain't got on my Texas Longhorns gear, I'm just going to say peace.